Hello and welcome to Coaching with AD. Well friends, throughout my sales careers, I have made thousands of doctors calls. I have made a lot of marketing strategies to sell to a doctor. Not only that, I have also attended a lot of training programs to understand how to sell to a doctor. And much more. I myself have trained hundreds of reps and other sales professionals on how to sell to a doctor. But my sales learning has come from the most unexpected places, and that is inside the doctor chamber. Well, today I am going to talk to you on how to sell like a doctor, because doctors are the best salespeople I can have ever met in my lifetime, and the learnings that I have got from them has changed the way I used to sell. And this is what I'm going to teach you in the next 3 most important steps on how to sell like a doctor and be the most successful salesperson that you can ever become. But before we move forward, first let's understand what's the challenge. What's the situation with today's salespeople? Well, more than 90% of the salespeople, when they go out and sell to their customer, they talk about all the features, all the benefits of their product in one go, because they hope that something might click to their customer. And because as an excited salesperson, they are always in a telling mode. And no wonders they put all their heart, they put all their mind, they put all their effort in ensuring that the customer should not miss a single opportunity to know about the products, the feature, the benefits, what all they have in their basket, in the hope that something will work out for them. But friends, that's not selling. That's something called pushing, or that's something called shooting in the air that something might work. So what's changing? What will change? What is exactly can help a salesperson to create that impact with that politeness, with that tone, with that communication that can make the difference? And this is what I'm going to tell you how to sell like a doctor in the 3 stages. And I will also compare on a day-to-day basis how a salesperson can imbibe those learnings and can propose its selling prospects the ideas, the features, the benefits and the advantages in a very sequential way to win the sales. So let's go one by one into the steps that how to sell like a doctor. Now let's imagine that you have got an appointment with the doctor and you have gone to visit him. The doctor does, the first step is exploration, that is called examination. So what happens? You go and the doctor starts doing a small checkup. He touches those areas which are hurting you or you have a problem with that, and he simply asks you a question. Does it hurt here? Does it pain here? What are the symptoms that you are seeing? Now when the doctor is asking these questions, he's basically trying to understand what is the situation that you have and what you are suffering from, because basis that understanding he will be able to assess and diagnose the problem. This is the first step the doctor uses. Now imagine if you are a salesperson and if you do not understand in what situation your customer is in, what are you going to do? You are going to sell him anything and everything, whether he wants or he does not want. So the first step that you need to do is what we call it as exploration, is to understand the problem the customer is currently facing. And to do that, you have to learn the art of questioning skills. Once you build that habit in your selling approach, you will be easily able to find out what is the problem or a situation the customer is in. And basis that, you can start finding out now how I'm going to solve the problem of my customer. So the step number 1 is examination or exploration of this situation by asking right and relevant questions to the customer. Now let's move to the second stage. The second stage, we call it as diagnosis. Now imagine a doctor giving you a prescription without diagnosis is a crime in the medical field, which simply means that once the doctor asks you those questions and understand your situation, he would give you a patient listening. He would understand that what you are saying so that he can really understand deeply your situation. And in order to do that, he repeats the same words that you are complaining about, that it's paining in a particular location, or it's aching, or it's like a sleepless night that you are having, so that he can very well make you understand that whatever he has understood is correct or not. And thus it requires very, very effective listening skills. So once you are asking questions, you are also gathering information, and in gathering information you need to have very good listening skills. So once the doctor listens you carefully, he is now able to understand and gets an acknowledgement from you that yes, that is the problem that I am facing. Now, as a salesman, you also now need to understand that not only having good questioning skills is important, but the second important skill is the listening skills. Once you are able to develop good listening skills, you understand how to paraphrase or summarize those points that the customer is facing right now. Basis that, you are getting an acknowledgement from your customer that yes, currently he is undergoing that situation or problem. This is like reinforcing that the point the customer is facing right now, he can give a right and a better solution to his current problem. Let's understand in the next step that what exactly a doctor does in giving the solution to you now. Now we come to the third and the most important step that a doctor does, giving a prescription. Now to understand this, imagine you walk into a doctor's cabin, and the moment you enter, the doctor smiles and says that here is a prescription that I'm giving you for the best antibiotic that I have, and this will work for you. You will be surprised, you will be amazed that without even knowing the kind of symptoms that you're going through and what has brought you into his cabin, you are getting a prescription. Friends, this is what is the problem with most of the salespeople. Without understanding the current situation, without undergoing the detailed examination of your customer, we start vomiting out the features and the benefits of our product. Imagine if you start telling all your feature and benefit without realizing the problem and the current situation. It is exactly like prescribing an antibiotic or any new drug the doctor is giving you without even examining you or asking you those questions. How does it feel like when you get a prescription like this from a doctor? I'm sure you would be wondering that this doctor is really good, or he is even serious about his profession or not. Imagine what would happen to you when you do the same way. The doctor or the customer on the other side feels the same, that you are not an experienced person, you are not solving my problem, so why should I take your product? Even if it is the best product, it has the best features, benefits or advantages, as long as it is solving my problem, I will give my ear, I will give my money to you, or I will sign my order to you. But if you are not, then why? This is what you need to understand before giving the solution. You need to do the first two steps very categorically and clearly. So these are the three steps that are very important. Exploration, that is examination. Number 2 is diagnosis, and number 3 is giving this solution in the form of a prescription. Now I'm going to talk about what it takes for you to behave or sell like a doctor. Well, now we come to the most important part, that is what it takes to sell like a doctor. Now, what an ideal doctor would look like. Let's say you go to a doctor and based on your appointment, and the doctor spends most of his time on diagnosing the problem rather than thinking about what prescription he has to give. And the more amount of time the doctor spends on diagnosing the problem, the better solution that he can provide you. And at that point of time, whatever solution, whether it is an MRI, whether it is an X-ray, whether it is a particular treatment that you have to take, you are readily open to accept it. Now, likewise, as a salesperson, your core role is to take the customer from a lesser desired state to a more approachable desired state from where the customer can start buying. And that's what requires the right identification of his needs, and that comes by diagnosing the current situation or the problem and not forcing or enforcing your product or your services or the solutions that you want to give. So the more effort that you spend and you take more time in diagnosing the problem, you would be able to give a right solution. And whatever solution you provide after doing the right diagnosis, you will see the customer is ready to buy even with higher price. Otherwise, if you are just a noise in the crowd, you will find that you will be struggling to sell your product and the right price that you demand will not be given. And no wonders, there are many salespeople struggling for discounts again and again because they are not able to create the differentiation. And as I said, that this problem is with 90% of the salespeople. So once you understand the right diagnosis, you can give them the right solution. And let's say that if you have done a good diagnosis, but your product or services are not able to solve the problem of the customer, tell the customer upfront that you don't have product. Don't try to oversell or push your product. Now this will have two benefits. One, the doctor will see you a person of trust, and number two, the doctor or your customer will refer you to the right places for those customers who are in dire need of your products. It is how your word of mouth will start spreading in terms of your credibility, in terms of your identity, and that makes a true salesperson. So friends, if you really want to be successful in the field of sales, the first thing you need to understand that how you are solving the problems of your customer rather than just pushing your products. So I hope you would have liked this learning lesson, and I'm sure it is going to benefit you if you really practice the way how to sell like a doctor. Thanks for watching me, and I hope to come back again with more solutions to you in your selling approach.